And today we're going to work on the Easter Fever wine glass. I was going through my glitter and my spray paint, and I just came up with this idea to make a pastel combo set. Well, I call it a combo set because it comes with 2 glasses. But anyway, I made this pastel set of glitter wine glasses, and it was really, really pretty. So that's what we're going to work on today. So I'm mixing my epoxy that's in equal parts. I have about 10 grams of epoxy that I measure with my food scale. I am also using mostly Glitterful colors today. We'll be using the Caesar's Palace, which is a really fine gold. We'll be having the Celio, well, just a little bit of that. I'm going to substitute it with a non-glitter Glitterful color. This is from my glitter dealer. This is the only other blue that I have. We're going to use Aurora, which is a really fine pink, and I love that one. The Tickle Co, which is like kind of a blue-green Tiffany Co company color. And then the Purple Orchid, and I'm almost out of that too. It's time for a restock, guys. I wish my tax check would get here so that I could just go on a glitter spree. We're getting there. So I'm mixing my epoxy. You want to mix it really well. Follow your brand's direction. Each brand's got its own instruction. You really don't need too much because we're just gonna use the epoxy method to put our glitter on. So what that means is I'm gonna do a really thin layer of epoxy all over my spray painted wine glass. This is just a wine glass that I bought from Dollar Tree. I spray painted it with Ballet Pink Rust-Oleum. I don't have the can here because it's still out at my spray station, but as you can see, I didn't even really spray paint it good. I had some technical difficulties, but that's okay because in this cup it's going to be completely covered. So I'm mixing my epoxy. It's all clear. It's ready to be applied. I'm going to go ahead and just do a thin, even layer all the way around your glass. You want to get the top, the stem, the bottom of the glass, all over. So just make sure you're wearing gloves. Make sure you're wearing your safety precautions. I've got my spinner here that I purchased off Amazon. I really like it, but I miss my one that spins 2. It died. I don't know if anybody noticed that I have a different turner, but it definitely died. I like this one a lot better. It's small, it's quiet, doesn't get overheated like my other one, but I miss being able to spin 2 at the same time. But I'm definitely going to invest in a few more of these. This one was only 30 bucks, and I have the link for it in the description. I would definitely buy them again. Thinking about buying 4 or 5. We're kind of putting, I don't want to say we're putting together, but we're in the talks of hosting a live Tumblr craft girls night in type event here. I live in Indianapolis, so I might need like 10 of them, but we'll have to see. I don't know if I'm gonna get that motivated. But anyway, I just put a thin layer of epoxy on all over the cup. I'm gonna scrape off the excess real quick. I'm gonna get my heat gun, and I'm just going to apply low heat just to make sure there's no air bubbles. And you want to make sure you do the bottom, the top of that stem, all over. Not too close. Just enough to make sure that our surface is even. Okay. Give me 1 second while I wipe my gloves. Sorry. Okay. At this point, you can really take your gloves off. I hate gloves. I was a CNA for years, and like now, every time I put gloves on, my hands just sweat so bad. Alright, anyway, so I'm going to take an extra piece of paper. I'm going to slide it underneath my cup, or my wine glass, to catch all my excess glitter. I'm going to take my first color. We're going to do pink for the first color. I've got this little gift tag that I'm going to fold in half to use as like my glitter scoop. You could use little scoops, a spoon, whatever. I actually have a whole bunch of little spoons around here somewhere. I don't know where they went. My turner, this turner spins kind of fast, so I'm going to be applying it rather quickly. So keep that in mind. And I'm just going to do a diagonal stripe. Now this part is going to be perfect. Then this part is going to be a little off. But it's okay because it all blends together. So just tap and align. And I'm going to wait for it to come back around. Because it moves kind of fast. I didn't get the amount that I wanted down there. And then I'm just going to come down a little bit and get that stem. And then I'm going to dump the rest. I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to dump it back in. I'm using the cover of my Jennifer Allwood Prayers for Your Small Business. It's a book that she has on her website. I actually read it. It was very good. It's in my craft station because when I need some motivation, I pull it out to read it sometimes. Sorry, Jennifer. Don't kill me. Anyway, on to the next color, which is going to be the Tickle and Co. And you're just going to do the same exact thing. Go right next to that color and just drizzle it down. I've got a fan on in here. Let me turn that off so maybe my glitter won't blow every which way as I'm trying to apply it. I'm going to wait for that around so I can get that bottom of that base. And it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to apply heat and it's going to mix all together. You just want a pretty good line. Now I only had a little bit of the Celia left and I have a lot of it. So I'm just going to mix a tiny bit of that in there. That way I can use up the rest. Okay, there we go. Just scoop it out. Sorry for all the crinkly. And you're just going to keep doing that all the way around. So you get the look that you want. And I'll do several sections of the pattern. And then I'm going to go back in with the gold in the end to kind of fill in those spots in between. And you want to get that stem. And you want to get the base there. And then do the same thing for the purple. It's really time for a restock. I'm out of a lot of colors that I normally have. I'm just going to pull that paper. And then we're going to go back to the beginning. So go back to that peak. And lay those colors down all over again. This time though, I'm going to avoid the stem. I might do, you know, just a little bit right here. I don't want to overlap it on that bottom part. We're just going to do a little bit like that. And we'll add some gold down there at the bottom so it's not so one note. We were kind of got blue, so I'm just going to use that darker blue that I have. Just a little bit of that gold there. Okay, so now that's all covered up. Our base looks good. The stem is covered. So I'm going to take my gold palace, Caesar's palace, sorry. And I'm just going to sprinkle it in those blank pink spots. Kind of like in between the lines of color. So it's going to be like my filler. Just to help keep covering those bare spots and break it up a little bit. So anywhere that I'm seeing that light pink is getting the taps of that Caesar's palace. You could do like solid lines of the Caesar's palace if you want. It doesn't matter what kind of glitter you use. It can be chunky, it can be fine, it can be holographic, you know, flake, shatter, whichever you prefer. As long as it's just any, you know, glitter combination. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of that along the bottom in that bare spot that we had. So it's like all broken up. Okay. There we go. Now I'm going to go crazy. I always have the tendency to go a little crazy when it comes to the extra shiny stuff. Okay, that's all we're going to do. Okay, so now I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to let that spin for just a second. I still have a little bit of epoxy left over from when we put that base layer on. So I'm going to put my gloves back on. And I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of epoxy over the top. Now I'm not going to flood it with epoxy. I just want enough that my epoxy is going to move a little bit of that glitter around and seal it really well. That way on the next layer we can add in the white and gold pigmented epoxy to give it the Milky Way. So I'm just drizzling the glitter over the top. Not a ton of it. I would say this is like less than a tablespoon of glitter. And I'm just scraping it whatever I have left in that cup and drizzling it from top to bottom. Because we already have epoxy on the base layer. It's going to move. You're still going to apply heat to it. This just helps make sure it's all really fully saturated. Okay. Now I'm going to take my heat and we're going to blow it on low. Just to make sure that all of our air bubbles are out. And we go ahead and help that epoxy start to cure and self-level. I really like the way that this one turned out. I was surprised how much I liked it, even though at first I was pretty sure that I had messed it up. So as you can see, my epoxy is starting to shift a little bit. I'm going to turn it on high just to make sure it's got a good spin, and then we're going to let it go for about 8 hours. And you'll see that my gold is starting to move. Some of my lines are starting to blend together and swirl. That's what you want. Some of it starting to drip off. That's fine. Alright, there we go. So let that spin for 8 hours, and then when we go on to the next step, I'll let you know how it looks. Okay, guys. So we have been spinning for way longer than 8 hours. All night. Almost 10 or 12 hours. Our epoxy is completely dry. our glitter is nice and on there. Now there's a few spots that you'll see that aren't covered up with glitter, but that's okay because that's what we're gonna work on the second layer. So I have my equal part of A and B epoxy again. This time I mixed up a little more. I mixed up about 30 grams just because I'm planning to do basically 3 colors. I plan to do a base coat that's going to be really thin, and then I plan to add white and gold. So you'll want a little bit of extra so that you'll have room to make sure that it's completely covered and still have room to drizzle. So just mix it really well according to your package's instructions. Mine is good to go. I've got my gloves. We're just gonna put on that small clear base layer first. You're just gonna, use your glove hand or your spatula or whatever you prefer to use and just make sure it's all covered up. And it really doesn't have to be very much because we're gonna be adding epoxy all over this cup. You just want enough that the epoxy, that the gold and the white have something to hold on to and flow. So I'm just barely putting any epoxy on. We're just gonna smooth that all down the stem. There, so smooth that all down the stem. Make sure you're getting the base of the glass too. And the little metal bottom pedestal foot. I don't know what that part's called. We're gonna call that the pedestal today. Okay, so my glass is all covered. You'll still feel a little bit of glitter until we put that next layer on. But my color, my clear is good. So we're good for the next one. I'm just gonna scrape off whatever epoxy I had left. I can't stand sticky gloves, so I'm just using a little bit of rubbing alcohol and a baby wipe. And I'm just gonna get it wet and wipe my glove off real quick. That way I can keep working. Rubbing alcohol is great for cleaning up epoxy while it's still wet. After I get done with this video, I will wipe out these cups real quick so that I can use them on my next project. And I'll just use the baby wipe with the alcohol to do that too. So we're good to go now and get on that. I'm gonna take the leftover epoxy that I have in this cup and I'm gonna split it in half. So I've got white and I'll have gold. I have a tiny bit of gold paint. This is just folk art, 99-cent gold paint from Walmart. And I'm going to put a literal drop, just 2 little drops. I have some gold alcohol ink. This does not have a lid. This is a Tim Holtz gold mixative, which means it's a little bit thicker than alcohol ink, but alcohol ink works just fine. And I'll put about 4 drops of that in there. And then for my other bowl with the white, I've got my apple barrel paint, any 99-cent white paint from Walmart, Target, wherever is gonna work. This one I'm gonna put a little more of the white paint in, just because I want my white paint to be very thick. I don't want you to be able to see through it too much. So I've got a good amount of white paint in there. I'm just gonna wipe off my excess. And then I'm gonna add a tad bit of mica powder to it. Just a little scoop. That's all we're adding. And we're gonna stir it together so it's got a little bit of pearlized shine to it. Like it's definitely white. So that's what we're going for. Make sure you get your mica powder stirred up really well. If you have little chunks, little unmixed powder, it's not gonna mix in with your epoxy, which is great for some looks, bad for the look we're going for today. I'm gonna wipe it again so I can stir up my other cup. You just wanna make sure it gets really well mixed in. And that gold is really pretty. Scrape your sides. Okay, good. So I'm gonna start with my white and then add my gold. So you're literally just gonna drizzle over the top. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just doing a quick one. I don't want it in too much in any one spot. I'm going all over the stem. And when you get down to the pedestal foot, I find it's easier to go, instead of trying to do the lines this way, is to just do them like that. And then let it sit. And then for the stem, I just keep going over like this. You want to make sure you get all the way up to the top of your glass with the white. Just like that. This cup turner spins so fast. I feel like I'm just literally flinging it on there. But it's okay. Okay, so I've got my white. So I'm going to set that to the side, and now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do the same thing with my gold. Just drizzle it right over the little stems. Drizzle it all over the white on top. You know, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm hitting those places that I didn't hit previously. But you want most of the glitter to be covered up. Some people leave a lot of glitter exposed. Some people leave a little bit exposed. You know, that's up to you personally on how you want to do it. On my previous one, I covered up a lot of the glitter. So for this one, I'm trying to make a set that matches. So you're going to see me cover up more of the glitter than I probably should, but I want it to match. So now I'm just going to apply a little bit of heat so we can see where we're at. I've got my Wagner heat gun. I've got two settings, low and high. You want to keep it a fifth length away from your project unless you're trying to blow in a line. And then you want to move it a little closer. But the key is to keep it constantly moving, else it will scorch your epoxy. So I'm going to start it on high just to get the epoxy flowing. Then we're going to move it to low to manipulate. So you just want to pop those heat bubbles and get those little nice air bubbles and let that heat get that epoxy moving. So I'm keeping it a fifth length away, constantly moving it. And you'll see that it's starting to shift now. And you want to make sure you get down your pedestal and get down on the stem and the bottom of your glass. Make sure you're doing that underside as well. Okay, so that's all the heat that we really need. I am going to go back in with just a tiny bit more gold, just because I felt like the first one had a lot more gold to it. So I want to make sure they're kind of match-ish. There we go. So now I'm just going to let that spin. Like, these are so easy. They take no time at all to put together. And you get a really good bang for your buck, because these glasses only cost me $1 from the Dollar Tree. And a cup like this that has 5 or 6 colors plus alcohol ink and gold, easily I'm getting $20. Sometimes $25, depending on if they add lettering or personalization. So these wine glasses are pretty much a moneymaker for me, in every sense of the word. And they're super popular. I actually started with tumblers, and I find that I do more glass work now with mason jars and wine glasses than I do tumblers, because it's just so popular. I literally can't keep these kind of stock. So when I have a show coming up in February, gonna be the Naturally Me event at the Fave Blick Center. You can also order this style on my website at craftmonday317.com, or submit your own custom order. But yeah, these are easy, super easy. So I'm gonna let this sit. It's gonna spin for 8 hours. I'm going to come back in 30 minutes and do a check. My 30-minute check consists of checking to make sure that my cup is still level and secure. I want to make sure that there's not too much epoxy dripping off. If you can see right here, there's a little bit of epoxy dripping off from my stem. I'm going to take my stick and just move that drip off. So, 30 minutes. Come back, do a check. Check to make sure everything's still going good. Check to make sure there aren't any fish eyes. And then I'm going to continue to let it spin until it's dry. And then move on to finishing touches. So finishing touches for me are sanding down the edge. I'm going to buff and shine the glass part. I'm going to make sure that the bottom of my cup is completely sanded and level, and that all my edges are very nice and smooth. My edges will get a little bit of sanding. The wine glasses, they don't really need much finishing touches. They're actually pretty easy to do. So, thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed our Easter fever glasses. Leave us a comment. Let us know what style you'd like to see next, what colors, you know, what projects you're struggling with. We love to hear from you guys.